Hello bass family, and welcome back to Everything Bass. Today I'm going to move on to the second installment in the Arpeggio sequencing series. So when you're learning arpeggios, just like learning scales, it's not enough just to practice the arpeggio up and down. That's a good starting point. But there's so much more you need to do with it, and you don't want to get stuck in that one octave box, which is so frustrating as an improvising bassist, to not feel free to express wherever your inner musician wants you to go on the fingerboard. You have to know where those notes are all over. And so the sequencing series is great. I already did one for the major 7 arpeggio, so if you haven't seen that one, be sure to go and check it out. But here we'll do the minor 7 arpeggio sequencing. So we start with just playing root 3, 5, 7. And we're going to start with the C minor 7 arpeggio. So we play this pattern: root, minor 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7. We stop there. The second one is the first inversion. Now, as I said last time, if this is the root 3, 5, 7, that's the root inversion because we start on the root. But if we take the root down and put it up as the octave, and we go 3, 5, 7 octave, that's the first inversion because it's the first time we inverted the sequence. We moved the first one to the last, and we're going to play through. That looks like this: minor 3rd, perfect 5th, minor 7 octave. So the first 2 sequences are easy to memorize. All right, now you might be going, well, that's not much of a variation from just playing it up and back. Well, it's because we're not done. So the next thing we have to do is we need to start on the 5th, because that time we played 3, 5, 7 octaves. So if we invert it again and we move the 3rd up here, now we're starting on the 5th. We call that the second inversion because we're starting on the 5th and we're going 5, 7. We play the octave and we'll play the minor 3rd above the octave. But we can't do that here without shifting because our 5th is right here, it's the G. So we take the G and we go up to the 10th fret on the A string. Now, we're going to do that with the ring finger, and this is important. People are like, well, I'll use whatever finger I want. This is really the most efficient way to do this, and it helps you memorize the pattern. So we play remember, this is the perfect 5th, so the minor 7 is located on the 8th fret on the D string. The 10th fret on the D string is now the octave, so that's the C again, and then we play the minor 3rd on the 8th fret on the G string. So that second inversion, starting from the 5th, sounds like this. Now we want to invert one more time, the 3rd inversion, because we're starting on the 7. So we go back to this minor 7 here, which is the B flat. We play a whole step to the C. We play the minor 3rd E flat. And then we're a pinky, and you might have to shift up a little bit. We play the 12th fret G. So those 2 sequences look like this. So let me play the entire sequence for you. And be sure to practice them down. And that's where the actual fingering helps you memorize the 4 patterns in the 1 shift. So remember that if you're playing C minor 7, you don't have to start here. You can start on the G, because that's the lowest note in that arpeggio that's on your bass if it's a 4-string. 5-string, 6-string, of course, or 5-string, you can go much deeper. So you can start with that second inversion. Play the 3rd inversion. Now shift, start over. Now after you get here, you can go up to the C here. Just start the sequence again. So see how easy it is to be able to find it all over? Hey, maybe you don't want to start here on the C. You want to start on the 8th fret C on the E string. It's no problem. Now the cool thing about doing that, you don't have to shift to get to that 5th. You can just play it from, you can go, here's my 5th. So practice it both ways. Practice it with the shift so you can be accurate in your shifting, and then practice it where you don't have to shift. And then, of course, to really graduate to the next level, you're going to want to move that to other roots. Play G minor 7, play F minor 7. Any root you can think of, try playing the arpeggio sequencing. As long as you don't include open strings, the pattern doesn't change, so it becomes easy. Lastly, what I want to encourage you is improvise with it. So before you get up from the day practicing, maybe throw on a drum beat. There's so many cool free drum apps. Maybe the drum sounds aren't the best, but still it gives you something. Or if you have a drum machine or a drum pedal or a looper that has drums, throw on something to kind of give you like a parameter of drums. and just improvise a little bass line or bass solo using just the arpeggio sequencing, jumping around. Don't play it in like the sequence order, so don't just play it like the exercise, but use those shifts to show you where you can play. I'll be downloading, I booked some time to record some audio, and one will be audio that'll support this, so it'll give you a format to be able to, to see what I'm asking you to do, and then you'll be able to download the audio files. All right, so that's arpeggio sequencing for minor 7 chords. If you, if maybe my description wasn't really ultra clear for you and you want some extra help, of course, go to patreon.com/everythingbass and become a monthly subscriber. It's just $8 a month at the time of recording this video, and you become a Backstage Pass member, which means that you'll be able to get sheet music and charts for everything that I post on. And for things like this, I use tab also to show you exactly what frets I want you to play, because I think that's important in the learning process. So, all right, that's it. Let's move on to our encore item. And our encore item today is it's funny. There's a little funny story about this. When I was the editor of Bass Frontiers magazine, one of the great things about it is every day UPS and the postman brought me cool free stuff, cool CDs, great method books, things like that. And one day I got this recording called Super Bass, and I was like, well, that looks interesting. And when I looked at the album cover, it featured, of course, the legendary Ray Brown, but also had John Clayton and Christian McBride. But at first I was just like, oh, it's three upright bass players, and I was really busy, and I kind of just looked at it and I said, okay, I'll review it in the future and put it on, because we had a pretty big waiting list of people who wanted us to review their CDs. So it came the day that I was going to review it. It had worked through the cycle and it was like next up, and I popped it in my CD player, and my head exploded. My face melted off. I couldn't believe it. What these 3 upright cats did, live recording, so live on stage, no overdubs, no redos, blew my frickin' mind. Ray Brown is always just, I've admired him for decades and love his playing, and he's one of those guys you can listen to play and just makes you feel good inside. Christian McBride at this point was somewhat of a newer, to me it was a little newer, but I was realizing his technical ability, and heard him on a couple albums, actually playing electric. And then John Clayton, I didn't have too much experience with, but because of the CD, I later sought him out and saw him play with Diana Krall, and just, oh my gosh, I mean, these 3 guys are just amazing musicians. What's great about it? Well, first, it is a live recording, so all that energy of live and being understanding that these guys are executing this stuff in front of an audience, and they're pulling it off perfectly. They do some great covers. Blue Monk, amazing. Amazing what 3 bass players do with Thelonious Monk's song Blue Monk. It'll floor you. But I really am drawn to Brown Funk. There's a song on there, Brown Funk, and it's like second to the last track on the album, if my memory serves me correct. And people don't, I think people who don't really know like the rich and depth of the upright bass sometimes don't think of it as a funk instrument. And that's going to be changed when you hear Brown Funk played by these 3 masters. It is as funky as you're going to want it to ever be. I mean, it is the coolest thing. I laughed out loud when I heard that track. And it's just really great. The whole overall experience puts you right in the cafe with them, or wherever they were playing, the club. So amazing, so amazing. So I encourage you, even if you have 0 interest in jazz, 0 interest in upright playing, whatever, check it out, because there's a dimension there of playing. There's a mastery of the instrument that transcends the upright instrument. It's actually something you can borrow, and also it's part of our family. These guys are part of our family, and they are crushing it on this recording. It inspired me, and I hope that it'll inspire you. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section below. Did you listen to it? Have you already have it? I understand there's a Super Bass 2. I never heard it, so I'm going to be ordering that, and you'll probably see that come up in a future encore item. So that's it. Arpeggio sequencing minor 7 and Super Bass. Check them both out. Let me know what you think. What about arpeggio sequencing? How's it working for you guys? How's it worked into your rehearsal, your practice time? Do you have any questions, any challenges? I'd love for you to share with me. There's a lot of ways that you guys can share with each other in the community. One is through comments on this video. The other is go to our Facebook group, which is Everything Bass. Search Everything Bass with Dale Titus in Facebook, and you'll actually just follow the group, and you can contribute. When you do come on board, let us know you're there. Hey, say hello, so my name's so and so, and share something with us. It is a collective of ideas. I love the exchanges between musicians, and it's exactly what I want it to be. I'm hoping it's also a platform where I can actually inspire you guys when you're a little down. Give you new ways to think about the instrument, new things to add to your practice routine. I love how this family of bassists has been growing. Our brothers and sisters are joining quickly and rapidly, and it's just really been making my heart feel good, because it's what I intended. The smallest part of this is me teaching video lessons. The bigger picture is just us being able to share with each other. Good news, actually, as support has come into the channel, I've already invested in new audio gear that's coming in. I've got gear to record audio clips for us, which is great. I'm going to be able to do interviews soon, which I'm very excited about, because I think that's even a richer resource of inspiration and ideas. So everything's happening. It's very cool. I'm loving it, and I'm glad that you're along for the ride. So please like, share, subscribe to this channel, and if you feel so inclined, please go to patreon.com/everythingbass and become a monthly subscriber. That really helps me. It makes me feel happy, and it's also feeding the channel, which I definitely need the help with. So thank you so much, and I will see you at the next video.